All right. What's good, y'all? Pardon being about 10 minutes late. I'm literally in the background right now watching the Daylyt and Nitty battle. Okay. So I didn't watch it last night. I'm caught up. I'm gonna say that to the second part. All right, let me reformat my brain because that third round. Let's get to the first topic first. Okay. All right. Let me get back on track. You guys see this title? Did Big U really do it? Eric Holder's op speaks out. I believe this is a new video. I don't think that this has been out, but let's see how long. Let's bring this up here. How long has this been out? Shout out to 834 Productions. This is a day old. Okay. I've never seen what we're about to play before prior to yesterday. So let's set the stage first, people. The Big U, the Rollin 60s RICO and the Big U arrest is shaking up a lot. We see everything that's coming of that. There's a lot of rumors. There's a lot of people coming out to talk. There's a lot of people that are happy. There's a lot of people that are upset. There's a lot of people that will be affected. You have the storylines of Brick Baby and Loose Cannon tied up in it to a degree. Whack 100 as well. No Jumper Podcast. The guy from the party promoter that might be cooperating allegedly. You got all these different ties, and it's going to continue to sprawl. I mean, don't forget, when we read the paperwork, some of the money that's in his charges is federal money, right? You're talking about grants and loans and celebrities and NBA players, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. But one of the biggest situations involved in this whole Big U and Rollin 60s indictment will always remain Nipsey Hussle's name, okay? Nipsey Hussle, such a prominent figure, one of the greatest rappers to come out of the hip hop space, as far as him being prolific, forward thinking. I just love the concepts of that man and how he carried himself, just the way he put himself out there. You know, very, very, very leadership quality type of person that was lost there. And there's always been the conspiracy. What made Eric Holder do it? Was he sent? Was it a bad situation? Was it snitch allegations? We're gonna step through some of that, and I'm gonna figure out if my take on that, at least for the moment, is gonna change back and forth as we watch some of these videos. All right, but first, this is Eric Holder's op speaking out about who Eric Holder is and his opinions on the day that he killed Nipsey Hussle.
I don't know if y'all really know about Eric, but he ain't got it all. His noodle been gone.
I knew Cuz since high school.
He did a lot of crazy shit. His noodle been gone. Get smutted him, and he didn't even really deserve the smut because there was never no proof. Keep it 100. We ain't never had nothing that said bro bad, but it's always been speculation, right? Cuz started losing his mind. He started coming back to the hood. But when he come back to the hood, it always was an issue, and he always got a type, right? So we already knew, okay, this nigga crazy. Come on, he crazy. Just so happens, one day I'm outside hanging out on some of the homies, and he pull up and he bounce out, and he coming directly from me with the energy. I'm not feeling it. We go to the back. I do my thing. He don't get the best of the situation. That nigga try to boogeyman me. You feel me? It was a couple of times I seen him. You feel what I'm saying? I'm just honest to God's truth. There's a couple of times I seen him and waiting for me, and we didn't have to figure it out. But once he realized what I was on, he didn't play with me like that. But this was years ago, right? I hadn't seen him since. I was the last to see him, right? So the day he come with the situation with Nip, he pull up on certain streets and homies see him and they see what type of time he on. I mean, if y'all seen the video, he had no shirt on with a blue rag around his neck. Now, any kid walking around with a blue rag around his neck with no shirt on, he on bullshit that day.
For
we
sure.
all know that.
Man, hey, look,
2019.
Rock can tell you that, man. Look, we know some shit, man, but I ain't gonna say he was no though, because look, Cuz was gangster too, though. I ain't even gonna lie.
Yeah, he was gangster. I'm keep it real, but I can't say. I already know the speculation, the whole situation, but I can't say I seen no paperwork, and there's a lot of niggas that ain't.
I ain't never seen no paperwork.
Never seen no paperwork. So now look, real quick. I'm gonna finish landing. My bad. I'm talking, but
I'm talking
real quick.
I want you to keep cooking, Paul.
Yeah. So the day of, I'm in the neighborhood. I'm in the area. If you look on the video, I know they got a video like the last 20 minutes he was there. A little black car pull up, a nigga hop out with a white beater, go in the store, come out, shake grandpa hand, shake Nip hand. That's me. Soon as I get back in my car and leave, 2 minutes later, you gonna see Eric. Now, I feel if I was there when he arrived, shit would have went different. Because the last time I seen him, it was bad, right? Because he had the animosity. So that energy that he had might have came towards me. I can't say nobody. Everybody feeling like somebody sent him, right? I had those thoughts too. But knowing Cuz, I feel like that shit could have happened with any nigga from the hood that day. He already been getting disrespected by every homie. And every time he came over there and put their hands on him. Every time. So that day, I felt like he was waiting for a nigga to do something.
And it just happened, Nip, just happened to be a casualty.
And it happened to be
and
Nip.
that's why I think too, because when we just talking about earlier how, okay, everybody's saying it could be a hit, whatever, and you know, Sam got his way, but then the way he acts so much off impulse, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to actually believe
his whole
that it's a hit.
personality is impulse.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. I know, because look, I was around when Cuz got put on, when he first got put on. We was going to Crenshaw. I remember Cuz, they was like, that's Baby Shitty. I'm like, oh yeah, because I already knew Shitty, you feel me? So I'm like, oh, okay, for sure, Cuz. But Cuz was always a hammerhead nigga, tripping, trying to prove himself, extra out. He was always like that, like, I don't know.
And what I feel like happened was Nip didn't realize who he was talking to when he said what he said. Like, I ain't gonna lie, if I was standing out there, I would have told Nip, bro, hey, go in the shop, I'm finna spin. We should spin.
Didn't make any statements. He stayed quiet and picked up the pieces.
Eerie. That is a big take from somebody that Eric Holder was beefing with. He flat out said, like, there's a couple times he tried to kill me, you know, and we was into it, and he had a lot of animosity. He's admitting, I feel lucky that I wasn't there 2 minutes later when Eric Holder actually got there, because he was impulsive. He was that type of guy. He was gangster. He was always picked on, getting into fights a lot. And he's so impulsive that day it could have been me. Right. But let's keep going. You know, I want to pull up things that continue to compound that before we shift in the other direction first. So stuff like this has always been out there. You got people like Brick Baby that is spoken about Eric Holder.
Monstrous devil that the world painted him to be.
Eric Holder is a real gangster. Eric Holder is like, and I ain't trying to big him up because Nipsey is a real gangster too. 6-0, but Eric Holder is like a real street soldier type dude. Like, he ain't no bad person or nothing. I feel like if he did murder him, let's say, quote unquote, he did murder him. If that's what did, well, he said he did murder him. So I can kind of talk a little bit more without being, but just say, I feel like it was because his feelings was hurt. You ever heard of gangster feelings? You ever heard of killer feelings? You say cheese, so you already know the pressure of hurting the gangster feelings.
And more gang members continuing to speak out about Eric Holder's situation.
A lot of people don't know the inner workings of the hood and how shit go. A lot of shit go, but everybody ain't. It's not finna be everybody. Like, I know you got your Nipsey fans out here, and they want to say they think shit's supposed to go a certain way, but obviously in the gang world, a lot of the gang, like, they not gonna jump on the internet and say it, but a lot of the niggas from his own hood, they gonna feel like Eric Holder was in the right and he did what he was supposed to do as a gangster, as a street nigga. You know what I mean? As a street nigga, he really did what he was supposed to do. Now on the flip side, the family and the friends and the fans, they feel like, you know, fuck this nigga. But as far as the gang go, it's gonna always be split, because you're gonna have some niggas that feel like he shouldn't have did that, and then you're gonna have the other side of niggas that feel like he did what a lot of people don't know the inner.
I want to do one more from Brick Baby before we switch lanes, and then talk from the other side, like, let's say, a Black Sam.
Okay. How do you feel about Eric getting beat up in jail?
You said, how do I? Oh, shit. He got what he got coming. This the thing. All right. What he did is justifiable. If it would have happened to somebody else, nobody would have, you get what I'm saying? Nobody would have, would have been mad at him. He killed, like, the main dude that was bringing positive, changing the narrative about the hood. You get what I'm saying? From negative to positive. You fucked up. You know what I'm saying? He said that he don't got nothing. You knew he wasn't going to kill you. He wasn't going to try to get you killed. He said he spoke his opinion of what he thought. You could have told him, nigga, that shit never happened. Nigga, don't speak about that no more, though. Like, nigga, I ain't telling nobody. You didn't have to do all that. You get what I'm saying? Point blank, period. So.
Okay. How do you feel about Eric getting beat up in jail?
You said, how do I? Oh, shit. He got what he got coming.
It's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough. Okay. Before I get into this Big U clip and this Black Sam clip, when we listen to Eric Holder's op speak out, that audio right there, I think is going to make a lot of people go back and question themselves as far as where they stand with the whole killing of Nipsey Hustle. Was it sent? Is it tied to all the history of Big U? Once again, Big U's name is under attack right now. I think some things, I think in our minds, we're like, oh, I could see that. He looks guilty of that. I mean, we're watching videos of him talking about, yeah, if you don't check in, we're going to check your equipment in, and the extortion and all that. It's like we can kind of see it. Like, yeah, look at all these videos. Look at all these interviews. Look at these clips right here. Look at that situation over there. We don't got any cameras in the building allegedly when SKG was slapped, but we do have the video of them live in the hotel lobby going at each other, right? So there's going to be some of this stuff where it's just like, come on, like, yeah, he did that, or we can see that from him, right? And then there's going to be other stuff that I feel like he just deserves it to play out in court. Let the evidence come out. Let people understand. So when you have the murders, right, which is probably, yeah, the biggest pieces of this, right? I mean, he could still end up doing 20 plus for all the other charges that he got. But the murder of RW, if the DNA under his nails is inconclusive, which means it can be him, it cannot be him, right? Let's say he beats that. Let's say they got rid of all the evidence and there's a little bit of reasonable doubt there based on whoever's the major label producer, whatever that I believe that they're talking to. Let's say there's some reasonable doubt there and they just can't 1000%. Yes, he deserves to be convicted of that. Then you have the Nipsey Hustle thing, okay? It's been years of these allegations he's had on him in the public, on the internet, from the loose cannons, and it's in his paperwork at this point, right? The evidence, what we say up here, what we think up here is one thing. When you get into court, what is being proven? That's why I'm 55-45 that Diddy is going to get off, even though I think he's a shitty person. When we get into court, it's not about all of our chatter out here, right? It's about what evidence do you have? What does the state have that they can prove? The burden of proof is on the plaintiff, okay? So leading into this next Black Sam clip that most of us have already seen, you realize that when you're a friend or a family of somebody that was done wrong, it could be killed, it could be incarcerated, it could be arrested, you're always going to be right in their eyes. Think about that for a minute. Not my baby, not my son, not my daughter, not my brother, not my sister, right? I say all the time, Jeffrey Dahmer's father was right there being supportive after he got arrested and they found the acid bat in his apartment. His father's still there, right by his side. Ask and this is with all due respect, I'm just painting the picture of how it goes when we have emotional ties to people. Okay, I'm the same way, to be fair. Okay, you tell me about some of my kinfolk and some of my family. Nah, it ain't true. Okay, I'm being fair. Ask little Easy E about his father, right? You can't tell little Easy E that Easy E didn't contract HIV or AIDS from, let's say, just sleeping with women, right? You can't tell him that. He is fully of the mindset and belief, and it could be true, it could be false, that something was done to him. that there was a conspiracy there. Same thing with Michael Jackson, right? Was he killed? Was it natural causes? Was it the doctor? Well, the doctor caused some charges, didn't he? Right? But look at all these situations around us and watch the people that are close to these people and how they're always going to react as far as, did my brother do something wrong? Did they deserve that? So if we love Nipsey Hustle, which most of us do, we're going to have that emotional tie that's going to make us say, he didn't do something wrong. But then when I listen to Bosco, who's a gang member, when I listen to Brick Baby, who is Shitty Cuz, aka Eric Holder's friend, say, if he would have did that to somebody else, you saw the clip we just played, if he would have did that to somebody else based on what went down there, nobody would feel like this. It's because it's Nipsey. We like, damn, you removed a leader though. It's like, but not him, no. Shit, Bishop said that to Steele, right? I don't agree with Bishop. I'm just referencing Juice. But it's Raheem. And what is Pac screaming? I don't give a fuck who it is. Nobody's supposed to try to snatch a gun. It's not easy. It's a very tough position to stand in when you love the person, when you respect the person, or then when you got to erase all that and try to look at the specifics. And that's why I gave the example of when they get into court with Diddy, all this other shit is going to be erased. So it makes you look at Black Sam's position, and you have to be skewed. I have to look at it and say, wait a minute, he's got some smart perspective here, but that's also Nipsey Hussle's brother. If you get what I'm saying, if you understand this whole point that I'm making, people
know what's going on in that parking lot, and had a conversation. Probably seen nobody was in the doorways. Checked Hustle had on shorts. Checked everybody else. Left. They say came back with a red shirt on. Tiptoed through the alley and went right and started shooting. So to me, that's premeditated. Number one, there's no red shirts in the hood. You can't buy no red shirt. No liquor store sell no red shirt. Number two, when a nigga come through the alley with a red shirt, that's the throw off, or the Bloods did it, or the Inglewood families did it, or the BPS. That's the throw off, red shirt. So for me, he felt, know what's going on in that parking lot, and had a conversation. Probably seen nobody was in the doorway.
So that is one of a couple that continues to make this muddy waters. The red shirt. If you notice my reaction, I was pointing at the screen when we was playing the audio from Eric Holder's op, right? In the beginning of the video. They laid on the ground Eric Holder's outfit, what he was wearing that day. You see the khakis, they got his boxes there, whatever I think, and you see the red t-shirt. There's already video of how he initially arrived when he confronted Nipsey Hustle, right before he left and came back. Was he wearing a red t-shirt? No. So Black Sam theory there makes you say, damn, I got to think about that now. Why the red t-shirt? Is it because it's a throw-off? Or you could say, maybe he's just doing that because if I try to just commit a murder and get away, the description of me is going to be somebody in red, not some Rollin 60s Crip in blue. I'm just trying to get away. This wasn't necessarily the murder outfit to throw everybody off. This is just my way of thinking that I'm going to get away with some shit. Maybe he always had a red t-shirt in his trunk thinking that the next time I commit a shooting, or if I ever get into it, in the same way I got my mask and my gloves and my gun in my car, I also got the red t-shirt because that's my getaway. You just got to open up the questions, right? But here's another one that's always going to be tough for if you're on the side of like, nah, somebody sent this at Nipsey. Like, it's tough. So this one right here, we've all seen it before, the Justice for Nip. Now, what I went back and I looked for was this particular video because we like context. It happens to all of us. We'll watch a video, and if it's 5 seconds of a 10-minute video, if we don't have the full context, if somebody clips you, right, and says, like URL did that to me, right? Remember when I was putting out some stuff that happened in battle rap. They took some and whatever and put it in their trailer and sold some tickets with it. So the context of what I said wasn't from the whole thing. And it's just like, oh, wait, he said what? ARP said what? It happens all the time. The context, okay? So I wanted a video like this that it's not just the part where he says justice for Nip. And I wanted to go read the comments on the screen, see what they might have been responding to, see a little bit more of the background. I was looking for more context. Y'all are going to look at this with me and try to figure out, did we find more context or not? All right. Now read the comments too on the screen.
That's why nigga don't do that. I want to beat that nigga up.
It's Rip, rest in peace, Nip every day, all day with the flags. I see that. See the marathon continues flags there. When you write a book, I want my payback. Cody said, what up? Kev, we waiting, nigga, LOL. Who is Kev? This person in the background? Kev, we waiting, nigga, LOL. What is that? What up, Unc?
If you really fuck the nigga up, nigga gonna be taking it like, yeah, nigga be taking that.
Justice for Nipsey. Neighborhood Nip flag.
You don't know what you waiting on.
Now he's saying what you waiting on.
What you waiting on?
That's the only context I'm able to build on what he started saying there. If that person in the background's name is Kev, because somebody put a comment, Kev, right here on the screen. You see this? Kev, we waiting, nigga, LOL. And it's within the time period that you would see on your side, the comment on your side as well. It's within that time period. And then he starts saying, well, what you waiting on in the background? And then there's already been prior and continues to be justice for Nip or Marathon continues posting it.
Nigga gonna be taking it like, yeah, nigga be taking that. Get your ass
Justice for Nipsey. Kev, we waiting on you, nigga. Justice for Nipsey. Neighborhood Nip. What you waiting on, though?
What you waiting on, though, nigga? What you waiting on? You got to tell us what you waiting on.
Justice for Nip.
Very weird. It's not easy, people. So there's literally a question there that says, we waiting on you. Kev, we waiting on you, nigga. And then there's literally right after that also continued Nipsey Hustle, justice for him, and neighborhood marathon continues. So it's like they're both reading from the screen. But like, I think I just saw this comment. Hold on. That's it right there. That's the thing that's just like, damn, like, how do I get around that though? Why the laughing? What it's fucking muddy water, man. It's not clear. It's not clear because their reactions and what you says and what this guy in the background says both aligns with comments that's on the screen. But the laughing, and then after the laughing,
Your boy would have been there like, yeah, everybody that was showing this shit.
or is that just marathon continue 60s up type? So you see what I'm doing here, people. I'm conflicted, and I want you guys to be conflicted if I need to be conflicted. Fuck that. Two-sided. You know, when we listen to that audio in the beginning of this video, and we listen to the Eric Holder's op, Eric Holder's an impulsive guy that shit. It could have been me if I was there 2 minutes later in that same parking lot on that same day. He tried to kill me multiple. He tried to boogeyman me. He was laying on me. We was into it. You know, he really is one of them type of impulsive gangsters. And on top of that, over there in the hood, he kept getting picked on. He was ending up in fights every time he was over there. There's even footage of Whack 100 saying 10 days prior to the shooting that Nip and Eric Holder got into a fight. Now, it's Whack, so I can't take anything the guy says with 100% accuracy. But I'm just saying, even Eric Holder having to, have like tension in the hood and getting into fights or possibly being bullied at times or whatever, people playing with him, that still aligns with what his op said in the beginning. Keep the question open, people. And when we see new drops like that of people that knew Eric Holder or beefed with him come out, let's run it. Let's bring it up here. Let's play it. Let's dig into it, and let's figure out, as the picture gets painted of, I think that is he did some shit. It's gonna be tough beating all of them charges. But when we talk about Nipsey Hustle, is it our love for Nipsey Hustle as pointing at that video like that and saying, no, big you did it and you had tension with him? Or is it just Eric Holder, the impulsive wild guy that was tired of going through what he was going through, walked up with another girl that wanted a picture and an autograph from Nipsey, got allegedly called a snitch, left, got a gun, put on a red t-shirt for a getaway, and came back? More answers at this point, being that it's been years. I mean, look how long it took for us to get to a semi-conclusion for Pac. More answers might come from this trial. Okay. But yeah, anybody that's joining the live a little bit late, make sure you go to the beginning of this video. We played some new audio of one of Eric Holder's ops, and it makes you open up the can of worms again. Daylyt versus Rum Nitty. Let me get into this. As you saw, I was just finishing up the end of Daylyt's 10-minute third round. All right, so how y'all feel? Let's switch lanes. How y'all feel about the battle? It is supposed to be one of those end game battles when it comes to lyricism and when it comes to the impact that it can have on our culture and battle rap. Being that, it's kind of like in a decline, and we're running out of explosive moments, explosive matchups. The market is just, it's been tough. It's been tough, right? But Daylyt and Rum Nitty, we look at a matchup like that and say, ooh, that's one of those that we have left. But what are we gonna get? And shout out to TBL. Shout out to the Apollo event. A lot of battles went down. I could not stay up late last night. I tried. I was even watching The Last of Us season 2 episode 1 that dropped last night. I was watching that while I had my phone next to me, watching the stream, waiting for battles that I wanted to see. I was like this, and I just started blacking out, and I was just like, man, I'll catch it in the morning. But Daylyt and Rum Nitty delivered. They delivered. So round one, with Rum Nitty going first, and that's when he put on his alien mask. Rum Nitty was Rum Nitty, man. He's one of the greatest to ever do it. He's an amazing lyricist. He's going to go down as one of the best punchers of all time. Who do you have? You have Nitty. You got Big K. You put Danny Myers there. Some people call Tay-Rock a puncher. Do you call him the Gumball King? I mean, the style is what I'm really referencing. But yeah, Danny Myers, a Av, a Big K, a Conceited, a B Magic, a Rum Nitty. Those are people that are always going to be classified for the rest of hip-hop history as the best punchers from battle rap. Some of those guys, and there's others, I'm not trying to purposely name every single one, but those are the main guys, right? I think. And Rum Nitty stays true to that. Sometimes people go after him a little bit and say, this is general bars. Like the stuff that you punch about and the stuff that you say can go to anybody, right? He showed his versatility in the Lux battle of how he can be way more tailored when need be. And I think he had a lot of tailored material in this battle as well. So I have no complaints of his type of approach for Daylyt. He did what you expect of a Rum Nitty performance. He did it at a high level, and he had a lot of catered and tailored bars for Daylyt as well. So when it comes to Rum Nitty's performance, and let me stick to the first round, masked up with his alien and all that. It was dope. Daylight's first round was incredible, okay? Daylyt, the only thing I was able to leave with from his first round was just like, this is starting to feel like a preference round. It's the punching and the setup and the delivery of Rum Nitty versus just the pure writing ability of Daylyt, just pure rapping. That's what it felt like in the first round. And this is definitely a rewind and find his more defined battle. I gotta watch it again, and I gotta peer deeper into. You can't watch this battle just once. No fucking way. They rap too good and they rap too much to watch this battle once. So I'm pretty sure I'll pull way more from Daylyt's first round. But if I just generalize it, it's like, yo, his rapping ability was on full display. So it becomes a little bit of a preference round to me. The first round. Second round, Rum Nitty was consistent. It might have been his shortest round of the battle. It seemed like. His second round was consistent though. Daylyt. Oh man. He dropped the ball in the second round. He did. I gotta call a spade. Daylyt, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? But he did drop the ball in the second round. He got to that point where he lost it. He lost his place. And you can see with battle rappers a lot of times. I don't know if it's a natural reaction or natural instinct within them, or if they just think that they're pulling the wool over our eyes. Like when they get to a point and they mess up and then they start referencing people around, you know, like, hey, come on, man. Like you've been in rooms that have been exploding. This one person whispering right here is not the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, my man holla, that's my nigga. But the leave without your hands moment with Goods, like that's what it looks like. You know, where you come on, man, you shut up too. It's like battle rappers are looking, you know, to for a spot to like recapture where they was. So then everything else, like they're not zoned out and in the tunnel anymore. You know, everything else becomes a factor now. Those crickets now turn into fucking dynamite sticks. You know what I'm saying? And so you could see that naturally. That's what Daylyt was doing. You know, he was just like, come on, man. And then even Nitty was like, nah, you must be trolling because Daylyt is the ultimate. You're not sure what he's up to, right? But I could see naturally it looked like a real choke. And then the proof of that is he brought it back, and rappers repeat their bars to make sure that, because there's pieces in there that bridge to the next bar, bridge to the next setup. A rapper will tell you all the time, you know, there's that one little transition word that could ruin your whole. If I just remembered this one word or this like little 2 words right here, I would have had the rest of my round. So what happened to Arsenal versus Mook? I had this conversation with Arsenal. Like he's prepping and then they look in their phones in between rounds. You see it in footage sometimes. They look in their phones. They're like, where did I miss that? And they see the transition. They go, fuck. That was it. Shit. And if you loaded Lux, you come back in your second round and you add it on. All first verse. But this is the history of battle rap, and this is what happens with them. So Daylyt, when he brought his verse back and he tried to get to that point and then hoped that his brain gears kicked in, he's timed it again. And that was the ultimate proof, like, yeah, that first one was really a choke, right? But everybody wanted him to rap because this is just one of those ones. So Rum Nitty was a good sport. The crowd was a good sport at that moment. The league was a good sport at that moment. It's like, no, Daylyt, we paid for this. We waiting for this. We need this. So in the pure battle rap and judging standpoint, it is what it is. But from a, hey, I want to hear these bars standpoint, you know, there's 30 pages of rhyme in the motherfucker, you know, cannabis. I want to still hear it. Fuck it. And Daylyt, he got back on track and it was great rapping, you know, so definitely lose the round, but it was great rapping. Third round. Might have been Nitty's best round. He left Earth. That whole jab, that all that setup shit that he did, overhand, incredible, creative, and they wouldn't even let him finish it. It was just, it was on 10 the way it was hitting. Nitty he left Earth. And his third round, I gotta replay that once again because battles like this, man, let's take every single ball and enjoy it because you're not gonna get stuff like this often. So once again for Nitty, incredible. When I heard his third round, you know what my thoughts were? I was just like, damn, I didn't hear Daylight's third yet. But if Daylyt didn't drop his second, this battle would have possibly been the second coming of like Lux and Nitty. It had that type of vibe as far as just the rapping and the back and forth competitive of them like this. Like I was just like, oh, this is the second coming. But I was like, damn, that second round, it messed that status up. You know what I'm saying? But Nitty did his job, man. And that third round was just incredible. Daylight's third round is possibly the round of the battle. right? That's why I put in the chat before I went. The camera cut on live. I was like, yo, I'll be back in like 9 minutes. I'm finishing this third round. Time wise, it was over a 10-minute round. Now there's reaction to, count that, how much it really took, but on the video, it shows that his round went more than 10 minutes, and he left Earth 2. When Daylyt was in interviews, like when he was interviewing me or when he did his face off and he's with Jay Black doing an interview, when he said, I'm going up there, just meet me up there or die, that's what he meant this third round. Luckily, Nitty did go up there in his third round. That's what he meant. He must have put so much into this third round. Maybe that is why he didn't have his second perfect. And Daylyt, I've seen that before. Like even in his King Los battle, his first round, incredible, right? His second round was light, no pun intended. His second round was short, and then his third round picked momentum back up. Like, okay, that's the light that we expect, right? Similar here, even though he had way more rapping, and he put way more into this Nitty battle than he did the King Los battle. But same pattern of up, down, and then all the way back up in the third. And that's what he did here. His third round was something for the ages. And his third round was so good, it almost makes up for the second. He was like trolling in between the crowd reactions, saying, I'm gonna show you how to 30 a nigga with one round. And Nitty and them was like, nah, it's too late. Like, I don't like it rarely happens in battle rap. It rarely happens. The third round or the 1 round knockout. It happened in Swave 7 versus Danny Myers, as per the vibe, the energy, and the voting in the building from the 5 judges and all that. Swave, he had like a choke in the second, and most people give Danny the first or whatever, but they just couldn't give Danny the win in the building judging because his third round just hit everybody so tough. Everybody was just like, yo, Swave got that. And it also happened again in Lux versus Calico, right? Technically, round 1 is not even up for discussion because you choked. Round 2 is debatable, right? X Factor still to this day will tell you Calico won. I know he's got a bias, but like that second round is debatable. Calico could have taken the second. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's close. It's closer than we want to act. But that third round erases the history of this debate. Nobody's ever gonna have the debate. Nobody does the talk unless you're Calico or X Factor. Everybody else historically is always gonna say, "Oh, Lux." It's why Jay-Z tweeted, "You're gonna get this work." It's why all the NFL players for that moment was saying, "You're gonna get this work." It was said on ESPN, and Loaded Lux went up to Howard Stern and did an interview. That third round. So it can happen. It's just very, 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 very rare. And I don't know if I would ever disrespect how crazy a performance Nitty had in his third as well, and overall within his battle, to say that it's even possible to knock him out. So I see what Daylyt was doing when he crafted that third. And I see what he was thinking, actually, when he turned the tide in the building, like, oh, shit, we are here for you still, Light. Because he crafted a burial in the third. But Nitty had already done so much. So, and Light is lucky that he went second. If he would have went first, it definitely would have been tougher. So, with the second round being clear, based on it is what it is, the first round being debatable, and the third round to me, I'm giving to Light. Shit, it becomes a debatable battle, even though Daylyt dropped the second round. It's a debatable battle. You need a perfect battle for a battle to be a classic. Okay. Daylyt, you ruined the battle from being a classic, man. It could have been a classic. But the battle is still incredible. Any league would love to have this battle uploaded to their library and to their channel for the rest of their company's existence. So shout out to TBL, man. This is a replayable battle. It's a great battle. And I'm about to rewind and find there's more to find. I'm gonna watch it a second time today for sure. Sticking on battle rap real quick too. So y'all saw it. This is what I was talking about. when me and Hitman did our interview a couple weeks ago before his event, the One Night Stand. It's my glass of wine last night, man. I'm telling you, anytime I drink, But at that point, the battle was already in motion. You know what I'm saying? So that whole segment where I asked him about Mook, it was a play. Like it was. I'm like, man, could this endgame battle happen? You know what I'm saying? Could it? And even Holla, he was worse than me. He's like, well, I should say better than me in that sense. He was just like, I don't know, man. We try. And in the background, the ink is almost dry. You know what I'm saying? And so we're doing that for a reason, right? Sometimes you gotta. I'll try to. I can't violate. First of all, there's business going on. I don't even own the battle, right? I gotta respect that. I'm going to try to help promote it. I support the battle. I support the league. Holla's my nigga. So yeah, but I also got to be respectful. I can't put it out there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna do that. That's wrong. I don't like when people put my shit out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you releasing my shit for? It's my job to release it. It's my business to release. I'm the one that's paying for this and everything. Like, why jump in front of me? Because you got an exclusive. Clown, sit your impatient ass down. You know what I'm saying? So it's wrong to do that. But we were already knowing, you know what I'm saying, back then. This is 3 weeks ago or some shit, 4 weeks ago, whatever. And that's another reason why I was like, you know, can this happen in a neutral place? We're putting it out there early. Like, let's say if the battle takes place and they sign the contracts of it taking place in Houston, okay? Because me personally, I don't think there's 4 places where if you're going to say the opponent might have a small disadvantage or a big disadvantage, right? So the big disadvantage is don't do it in New York. Mook's going to have an advantage there. Don't do it in St. Louis. Holla's going to have a big advantage there. Okay. The smaller advantages is like people would say maybe Holla in Atlanta because he has a bunch of battles in Atlanta. Battled Bill Collector in Atlanta. He did Bags and Bodies battles in Atlanta. He's hosted events in Atlanta. He battled Hustle in Atlanta. He battled Ill Will in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like it's his second home. Like people would say, I don't know about Holla in Atlanta. They would say that. But then you would also possibly say that about Detroit. So that would be the 4th place where it's just like maybe a small advantage. Mook's got a foot in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's very, very close with a lot of people out there, his relationship with Calico and everything like that. And he just battled Arsenal out there and had an incredible performance. Now, just because you have an incredible performance there doesn't mean like, oh, it's not fair because you already did good there. It's your job to do good everywhere, right? But you have ties there with friends and family and whatnot. So those 4 areas, you take them off the table, and Houston has hosted a lot of huge events. Houston seems perfect. Okay? Houston seems perfect. Be clear. I had the same conversation in my Daylyt interview when we talked about the endgame battles. This is the top one. Okay? If you're going to debate me on Hitman versus Mook being the top battle left, then you gotta argue me with Daylyt and Lux. That's the only one that can argue it. Okay. Well, some people may debate. You want to know what would be up there too? If Mook beat Holla, and then Surf comes home and faces Mook. That. So those are like the 3. All right. Hitman and Mook. But see, that's the thing. You don't have to have certain things that happen or steps or wins or losses. That cake is already baked. They really dislike each other. They really have the history already. They really are 2 of the 3 or of the 4. Let me add my nigga Cassidy in there too, right? I don't want to miss anybody. Of the top 4 drawing and endgame people. There are other GOATs, but those 4 people draw the most. Hitman, Mook, Lux, and Cassidy. They draw the most response, the most engagement, the most money, the most pay-per-view, the most tickets in the building. Those 4 people. Okay. So any mix of those 4 guys, and I already seen in the chat, hey, after this, ARP, can you do Holla versus Lux? If I wanted to do the battle, it would have already been done. I had 20 phone calls with Lux about that battle right after I retired, and Hitman already knew what I was on. He's like, hey man, you know how to call me if you gonna unretire that fast. And I stood on my ground, and I stood with my retirement. And I said I walked away from the biggest battle at that moment. I walked away from it. You know what I'm saying? But this Mook and Hitman is it. This is the top guy. It's the biggest grudge and the biggest available battle out right now. Like you take Daylyt and Lux, you don't have that grudge. Those guys are friendly, right? Not saying that you need a grudge to have the biggest battle ever, because the history of those two guys is incredible. But this is battle rap, people. We want the lyricism, we want the story, we want the drama, and the grudge matches are always the biggest matches. Who are we kidding? Don't lie, people. Don't lie. The grudge matches are always the biggest ones. Okay. So there you have it. Mook versus Hitman is going down. And after that, hopefully we get Lux and Daylyt. You see, Lux was there, right? Was Lux doing homework? Is Lux rubbing shoulders with TBL? I tried to hip you before what I just said. I said, you know, I can't always say everything. Read between the fucking lines. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. That's all I got for y'all today, man. All right. Once again, if you joined the stream late, please go back and play the audio of Eric Holder's op speaking out. Adds a twist and a very interesting chapter to the book that we're reading right now, in the midst of especially this Rollin 60s, RICO and Big U, and the whole story of Big U and Nipsey Hustle. Will there be justice for Nip? We're gonna have to wait and see.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry It's True podcast. Welcome to the house up. And shout out to the members.